Hey there! Do you live in Japan? Do you have kids? And are you thinking of sending those kids to a Japanese preschool or daycare? If so, this video might be helpful. So first of all, if you want to do this, to get started, you'll go first to City Hall. If you do not speak Japanese, and if you don't have a Japanese speaker in your family, you will want to bring a translator with you. They're going to ask about your employment status, your address, and your child's age. The employment status is if you want to send your child to a hoikuen. The preschool and childcare is subsidized by the Japanese government, so if you're going with the daycare option, they want to make sure that both parents are working. I believe the minimum is about 20 hours per week, but that's something that they can talk about with you at City Hall. They ask for your address so that they can find what schools are in your area and what schools have openings. And finally, they'll ask about your child's age. 3 years old to 6 years old is yochien. If they're younger, then that's the hoikuen status. Hoikuen is daycare, yochien is kindergarten. There are separate yochiens and separate hoikuens, and then there are also combination schools. So if you have multiple children of different ages, then the combination school is great for you. And obviously if you both work and you need those extended hours, the combination option is really nice to have. Once you have visited the yochiens and decided which one you want to go with, again, you might want to take a translator with you or interpreter with you to help with the paperwork to get your kid all signed up and to go through the supplies list with the senseis. Okay, after all of that, congratulations! You will have enrolled your child into the Japanese hoikuen or yochien. After that, you can expect some really great experiences for your kids. The yochien level, they start learning really preliminary academic skills. So they learn hiragana, katakana, basic math concepts. They also learn some of the skills that Japanese school systems are so famous for, like cleaning the classroom and working on the group mentality of everyone working together, everyone cooperating. In addition to those basics though, yochien students have a lot of extra classes within just the regular class week. They have music classes. Ours had pianica and koto. Koto was just for the older kids. That's the Japanese harp, if you're not familiar with it. They have swimming classes once a week. They have gymnastics classes once a week. They also have cooking class. It'll vary based on the school, but ours was about once or twice a month. And then our school had tea class. Not every yochien has that, but we had tea class. So imagine little kindergartners and preschoolers learning the basics of the Japanese tea ceremony. In addition to those extra activities, they have a lot of field trips, picking fruits and vegetables, planting rice, harvesting rice, zoo visits, aquarium visits, all of that good stuff. There are also many events throughout the year. They'll have music programs, they'll have little plays. They also have summer festival, Natsu Matsuri, and Aki Matsuri, fall festival. And the biggest one is sports day, undokai. That merits a video all on its own. The hoikuen, the daycare option, they have a lot of benefits too. They're not as explicitly listable as the yochien, but they do a lot of pre-literacy work. They do a lot of life skills like effective hand washing. So you'll notice a lot of growth. Whichever level you send your child to, you'll notice a lot of growth, a lot of skill building. A few other benefits to sending your kids to yochien and hoikuen are cost. It's extremely affordable. Yochien does not have tuition. There are fees for different activities, materials, that kind of thing, but no tuition. Hoikuen does have tuition, but it's so low. It's so cost effective because it is subsidized by the government. You may have heard about Japan's baby crisis. The government is trying to encourage families to have more kids, so this is part of it. Part of their incentives to try and get more people to have kids. There's usually a bus service. So if you don't want to take your kid directly to the yochien or hoikuen, oftentimes they can ride the bus. If it's a baby, they can't ride the bus, but once they reach a certain age, they can ride the bus. There's the bus driver, basu no sensei, and there's also another sensei in the bus with them to, check off names and keep everyone in line. Challenges are, again, language. You're gonna stretch yourself and your child. If they don't know Japanese already, there will be a time that's kind of transitional where they do learn. My son took about a year to be completely fluent, so keep that in mind. Kids do soak up language very quickly, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. Another language challenge is there's a lot of communication. There's the daily notebook where the sensei can write notes in, you can write questions in, so you'll have to check that. There are monthly newsletters and calendars that talk about the events and what supplies you might need for the events. And then sometimes there are handouts that come home about oh, be careful, there's a flu going around, please gargle when you get home. Or, oh, by the way, we're gonna do this, so send boots to school tomorrow, that kind of thing. So you kind of have to be on your toes, be organized, but it's worth it. The only other challenge is there are a lot of supplies. Every day there's a lot of supplies you have to prepare for your kids, but you'll get into a routine. I'll make another video about the supplies, but it's, again, totally worth it. Now, that's just the super duper condensed tips that I have about getting started with yochien and hoikuen. I'll close with one final tip, and it can be applied to many aspects of life in Japan. But as you go through the process and as your kid is going to school, there will be times that you miss something. You might not understand something, you might not know how something is going to go, or what you need to pack, or what you need to do as a parent. You might feel, it's because I'm a gaijin. If only I were Japanese, then I would know. But that's not true. Japanese parents have a learning curve too. They don't know the yochien system or hoikuen system, just like you don't know it. So they're learning too. You might feel like you're the only one, but you're not. So that's it. I hope this was helpful. And if you feel so inclined, I hope you look into sending your kid to a yochien or a hoikuen. All right, that's it for now. Bye.